All right, guys. So today we are going to see in the week session 10, that's a new advanced topic that is set operators along with joins and as well as views. If time permits, we'll also look at subqueries. All right. The very first one, let's try to see what is set operators, which plays a very important role in SQL. So to understand this set operators, let's go back to our Excel before we get on to the SQL and understand how this really works in the real time. All right. So set operations basically allows you, okay, the result of multiple queries. Let me write here set operations allow the results of multiple queries to be combined into a single result. Let me break it down into different lines of multiple combined into statements. So what happens basically set operators by using whatever the results we are getting from combining at different tables, because so far we are was working on a single tables, right? By using all the select queries what we know, all the update queries what we know, we are restricted to use only a single tables. So now we are going to use a multiple tables because the set operators works on multiple tables. Okay, so whenever we have multiple select case statements, okay, we are going to club together in order to merge two tables or something. Okay, so for this example, let me go back to Excel to create a simple tables to understand how this really works. Okay, so for that, let's create two tables here. I want to say this table as table A maybe, then table B. Hope the font size is okay. Let me increase, otherwise, yeah. So in this table, what I want is, I want to have something called uh, maybe EMP ID. Then I want to have e-name, maybe a salary. Okay, this is my table A. Now, in the same fashion, we have something called table B. We'll talk about the rules. First, let me fill the data here so that you'll get an idea how exactly this set operator is going to help you. So we have a table A and table B here. So what happens is sometimes like we have a same kind of a table but with a different values altogether. Okay, maybe you have a center in one in Hyderabad, one is in Delhi, one is Chennai, one is in Bangalore. Okay, we have a four different tables in four different centers, and employee number as usual it will be unique, right? It's always unique. Employee name can be different, in case salary can be different, but employee ID will be unique one which cannot be repeated. But I want to take something a repeated value. What will happen, we'll see with the proper examples. So here I want to go for 1001, something like that, and employee name as Monty, and salary is something like 10,000. Okay, and here let's complete finish of this 1002, and here have something called uh, Priyanka, and we have something called 25,000, and we have 1003, we have something called Nilima, which has 5,000, and we have 1004. Uh, Actually, let's take 1004 here just to have the clear combination. 1004, here we have Srinivas, whose salary is 50,000, and next we have something called maybe 1005, and we have someone like Dipti who's earning 15,000 maybe, and we have 1006. We have Seema who's earning 14,000, and we have 1001 again Monty with some 10,000. So if you look at this table, I have a very simple table to understand this concept better. Let me put this header so that we have a clarity what we are doing. This is your two different tables. Okay, assuming that this table is related to some kind of a one center, which is which I'm working in, and there is a one more table which is called as a table B, or any table. For example, this is a employee one, this is employee two, or this is a product one, this is a product two, this is a student one, maybe there's a student two. So whatever the case might be, we here if the concept is clear, you can face any business challenge here. So intentionally, I've taken one duplicate row here to understand how this really going to play a role. We have 3 rows, and here we have 4 rows. If you look at the employee ID is unique, but intentionally one something have taken which is called as a duplicate row. A duplicate row. So what exactly the set operator is doing here? It is trying to combine more than one table, in fact, like, or else you can say multiple tables. Okay, whenever we talk about 2 tables, you can say multiple tables. When we are trying to combine multiple select queries into one and to arrive to a single result. Okay, so in this scenario, we have 4 types of set operators. Let me define here. The first one here is union. The first one, union, and second one, we have something called union all. Very important concept, guys. So this is a third one. We have something called intersect, and the fourth one we have except. Okay, so ideally people will talk about only 2 operators, that is union and union all, but I'm trying to combine 2 more which are not so in practically in use, but you need to know what are these 2 also. That is a last 2, that is a third one and fourth one, intersect and expect. Okay, so let's try to understand what is a union and how this is going to help me in the real world, if at all, if I'm working on 2 multiple tables. I'm not talking about the joins here. Okay, this is a set operator. With the help of these operators, I'm going to combine multiple tables. Multiple tables, it's always more than one table, right? So union operator, what exactly it does is, let me write here itself. Okay, union operator is used basically to combine. So all these 4 are going to do on the same operation, that is combined, but there is a little variance in the usage. When I use a union, it has a set of different meaning. When I use a union all, it has a different meaning. But the conclusion part is we always want to combine 2 different tables here. All right. So to combine what you want to combine, the results of 2 or more, 2 or more select statements or conditions, maybe statements. And the very important thing is it removes, let me remove this one. Yeah, now there's more room to see duplicate rows. So this is a condition why I have taken a row which is a duplicate. For example, if you see here, this is Monty. Here we have a Monty here. Wantedly I've taken in order to see this example, how it works in case of when we have a duplicate rows. Okay, now we are talking about something called union. Union, the word itself is indicating a plain English word. Union is nothing but joining something together, okay, clubbing together. But union has a specific meaning. It is combining, no doubt, but the very important line to be remembered, that is, it removes the duplicate rows. That means it is going to merge 2 tables into as a one single result. That is what we are talking about, into a single result, no doubt, but it is going to remove the duplicate rows. So that is what the union talks about. We'll talk about the rest of the set operators differently, separately. First, let us try to clarify what is union so that we can easily understand other 3 parameters. So there are certain rules to be followed actually whenever you're trying to work with the union. So it's all about rules, guys. So when I want to use union, I need to follow these rules. If I break any of the rule, that means the union is not really forming on any of the table which I'm using. So the very first rule would be the number of columns should be same in both the tables. I'm using both here. It means if you have 100 tables, also same case, both tables. Okay, that is the first context what we have for the rule. Now let's go for the second rule. What it says in the second rule, what it says is the order of the column. Okay, what I mean order. So number of the columns. First, let's try to clarify that one. Number of the columns, 1 and 2 and 3. So 3 columns I have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So that means the number of columns in the table, that is two or more tables, should be same. That means the size of the column should be same. That is 3 means 3. That's it. It should not be more than. If I have 5 columns here, it should be a 5 columns here. If I have 50 columns here, I should be having 50 columns here. So I've taken a very simple table to understand the granular level of using of these operators. If you're using a millions of data, also same. But here, if I take some 1,000 rows also, it will be confusing for you how it is clubbed and what are the rows, different rows it is combined. Okay, simple table to understand this. The second condition you need to always follow is order of columns should be same again. So what is the order means here? The order in the sense, the first order starts with employee ID. Here also have employee ID. Here have a EA name, nothing but employee name. Here also employee name. And the third one is salary. Here also salary. What if I have instead of salary here, E name here? Okay, let's assume we have E name, employee ID, and here we have employee ID. But the second column is E name, and here the second column is E name. This union will fail. So it will not work. We need to have the same set of columns only where I can union them together in order to give a single result as a single data set. I have two different tables, table A and B, where I want to, when I combine with the union, I'm expected to get one table with the same size and shape with all the rows. So let's see how the output is going to be by using a union. So what I'll do is I'll blindly just copy this. I'll paste it as a result. Assume that this is a result which I'm going to see now with the SQL. Okay. Once I paste this, what my union is saying here? My union is saying it removes the duplicate rows whenever you're merging or whenever you're trying to combine two select queries and try to give a single result. So that is two conditions are already satisfied. Do you have any third condition here? Yes, we have. What is the third condition is? And third condition also should be satisfied. Otherwise, it is going to is not going to work as simple as that. So data type, the data type of the columns must be same. Okay, before we go practically, I want really to understand these rules, because if I don't follow the rules, it will not give me a right result what I'm expected to. The first one, I have the columns, number of columns is 3. Here also have number of columns 3. The order of the columns also same, that is I have 3 columns. Here also have the 3 columns with the same column names. And the third thing is data type. That means this EMP ID is going to be integer. This is going to be a varchar, nothing but text. This is going to be a money or simply a maybe an int. So these are the data types what I have created for my table A. You are expected to have the same kind of data types for the second table also. So that is what the third rule says. I hope it's clear now what are the rules to be followed, which are very simple, but it should be a mandatory. Every rule is mandatory. Otherwise, we can't see the result. Number of columns should be the same in both the tables. Order of the column should be same. Data type of the columns must be same. So by this now you understood like what are the rules to be followed. Now let's see how the output is going to be. Now blindly, if I look at this text what I've written, union will combine 2 or more tables, but it removes the duplicate rows. That means you are not going to see 1001 record here. This is what my output when I use union. I have 3 records here. I have 4 records here. So that so that means I have totally 7 records. But when I use union, what happens is I'll end up getting only 6 records, because there is a common record in both the tables and it is removing duplicates. That's it. All right, so in order to perform this job, the way I easily created the tables in Excel, I have to create the same kind of a structure in the SQL as well. So I do not have even any single database here. So let me quickly create database. And what should be the database as operators DB. Okay, I'm quickly running this. Now my database is ready. Let me go for view and object explorer. I should be seeing my new database existing here. All right, so operate database is existing. Now I need to create a table. So now by this time you understood how to create a table, either query using a CUI method, that is create table name and what are the columns required. Otherwise, simply you can upload the Excel file what you have. but ensure that each Excel file as Excel sheet has one table only. If you have multiple tables like this, you can't expect creating three tables from a single sheet in your SQL. No, it's not possible. You need to have three different sheets. If you want to create this table as one table, this has to create as a one table, and this as a create as a one table. You need to have three different sheets. Then only your SQL will understand that you are creating a table from each tab. Okay, this is not a good data set to be inserted into your table. So let me go for GUI method, as we have three ways here. So let me see operators DB, which is ready now. So let me quickly, it is changed. Now, if I want to create a table, what I do is simply I'll go for the table, then I'll say new table. So once you say new table, in the interest of time, I'm creating directly from my GUI phase. So I'm using EMP ID. I'll just copy the same columns, maybe EMP ID. That data type is going to be integer. Then I want to allow nulls, that's fine. Next, I want a ename. Then I want as a varchar 50, let it be. Then we have something called salary. You add as many as columns possible, doesn't matter. Okay, int. So now that my table is created, it should be given some nice name to it. So EMP ID. EMP ID, that's a column name. That's it. Okay, when I'm trying to close this, it will ask you politely, what is the table name you want to give? So let's keep it very simple. Table A as my table name. When I say okay, the table is now created into your database. So let me see, your table A is now ready, right? Okay, let us go for a quickly one more table, because we need multiple tables here, right? So I need to go for this. Click on the new table again, create the same kind of structure again, EMP ID, then use as INT, then use what I've given, EMP name. Then we have third one, salary. It should be integer, of course. And this is varchar. That's it. Now my second table is also ready. So table B. All right. So I have two tables now. Let me refresh and see if I have two tables already. I can start inserting the data into this. All right. So in order to see that I have two tables here, table A, table B. Now I don't have time to upload either. I don't have time to insert through the insert query. So what is the quickest way? Simply click on this, never go for a design. Design is nothing but like where you actually started your table structure, ename it is. So let's go for design. I'm just trying to rename. Okay, the way you do with your query, I'm trying to do with the GUI method. So what I want to do is now I want to click and edit. Okay, edit the top 200 rows. I don't have 200 rows, but it's saying like edit top 200 rows. Just click on it and start inputting the information what you want. That is inserting a data. So I want 1001 body. Let me write everything, but can I do something like this? Copy it, everything, and just put it here and say paste. Wow, that's fantastic. So that means you can also paste the data directly into your data set, because you are not good at typing, you are lazy, you don't have time, just copy and dump it. So this is how I just created. I simply saving it. Let me see again if I have my data ready. Select top 1000 rows. Okay, it is trying to show you the data. Excellent. So close this. Now go for the second table and go for edit 200 rows. Okay, if I need to insert some 1000 rows for a quick purpose or quick analysis, don't try to type anything or simply upload. That is the best methodology if you are going beyond any numbers. And that's it. I pasted the data here. Now close this. My two tables are ready now to interact with all these operators. Okay, if you want to test it, right click, don't write even the select query. What you can do is select top 1000 rows. You can see all these rows of displayed, but here it will always say with the top. That's how it comes by default, but you can just avoid everything and say, select star. This is not written by me. So what happens basically, it will always take that a database name as a prefix, DBO, that is a database object, as a prefix. Then actually it will tell you what is the table name. No problem. That also works. Even if you're not mentioning your database name, still it works. Even if you're not mentioning DB also doesn't matter. Why? What is the reason actually? Even if you're not mentioning this, why still it is working? The reason is you are in the same database in which you're working. For example, I'm in the operational database, I'm working in the operational database. So what happens is it will not mind even if you're not giving this one. Now you can see the red color line is gone without doing anything because you are in the actual database in which you're working. For example, if I change to master, okay, which is not my database, obviously you'll be finding this. If I'm running this also, okay, okay, it's master also, there is a table, it's created. Sorry. So guys, what is happening is even if you are in the master table, it's still working. The reason being is you're already redirected your database table. Okay, your table you are telling already, I'm in the I'm referring to this database, I'm referring to this DBO. That means even if the selection is not in the right procedure, okay, that's my bad. Even if you are in the not in the right database, or if you are in the Monty's database, still this two queries will work. The reason being you are giving prefix before your table, you are giving the prefix of database object and as well as what database you are talking about. But in the same way, if I just remove this prefix and start working with the table B, it will not work because you are not in the uh, right database, in fact. So that's why we'll always try to use this use operator, right? Use keyword you'll use and you'll try to intimate a SQL that my database is this. Don't take me into any other database because this is my database. That's why you try to use the first one, this case, or this will also work. This will also work, but in real time, what I've seen is the database name is very big and your DB object, you need to prefix all the time and it will really mess up your code, query language. So better is always use a single line and start using only a table name. So anyways, both are works. So here I'm trying to run both the queries now. That is table, sorry, this is table A. All right, so I'm running both the tables, that is A and B. Now, if you look at my both the tables, the way I created in the query designer, okay, nothing but the table designer rather, not uploaded, not used even a single query to write it. Within seconds, I could able to create because I know how to create through the GUI method. And also, I'm not inserted any data, just I copied and dumped it. You might have seen the same kind of experience in Access also. Access also allows you to copy and data and paste directly into the table. That's the easiest way, but always try to use the insert query and try to insert and see what are the problems you're going to face. That's how you'll get the reality of this SQL. Okay. Once you got the experience in working SQL, you can go with this kind of a easy tips so that you can work faster with the help of a tables. All right, now we have a two tables here. The thing is, when I try to use the union, what happens? That's what my learning here. So I'm trying to use the very first operator called union. So when I use union, what happens? So let me put union all as the second one. Yeah, this is union and this is union all because I'm going to see as a next example. Instantly, you can see how different the union and union all is going to be. So because you already got the flavor of what is union all, so let me do in the same window so that you'll understand. Yeah, these are my select queries. Let me close this. Now we know there are two tables existing and we are working for the union. Let me remove this from here so that while reading it will be easy for you. This is entire stuff is related to union. Okay, this is union and these are the rules to be followed. Perfect. Now, as you know that you have created two tables, now you want to merge it. So what exactly, how exactly we are going to use? As we know, by using a star, we always mean that we want to get all the columns. How many columns we have? All here star means 3 columns, right? Because my table consists of 3 columns. If it is a 300 columns, so obviously star means 300. So star importance will keep changing because it depends upon the number of columns. Now, the very first time I want to use union operator, and I know the meaning of union. Union combines two tables into as a one single result, as a one single data set. Even if I don't run this query, you can easily assume, imagine what would be the output here. Ideally, I should be getting 3 plus 4, that is 7 records, but I would be end up getting only, this is 7 and you are going to get only 6 records. So you can see here, it is a 6. Here 3 plus 4, that is 7. Now let's see practically what happens. If I run this both queries at once, you can see two windows as usual. No difference actually. It's just giving you two different tables in your two different output windows so that we can just compare it. Okay, if I start comparing both the records, both the data, what I can see is both data sets. I have 1001, which is actually not supposed to be there. But in order to demonstrate, I wanted taken a duplicate row. Okay, one employee cannot work in a Hyderabad and as well as in Bangalore. Okay, we cannot have two position IDs or two employee IDs or some unique number, right? So how I'm going to work with the union is we are going to have two tables or three tables, tomorrow 20 tables or 30 tables. In between A and B, we need to use a set operator called union. Union, again, when I written, it is clearly showing me in blue color. That means I've written correctly only, right? So when I use select star from table A, when I write select star from table B, this is what I was referring to, combining two or more queries select statement, and the condition here, how the unique nature, the unique set operator nature is, it will remove all the duplicate rows. So I have wantedly taken one duplicate row here. Let's see what is output now. When I run this particular with union, okay, I'm running two queries into one. You can see that it end up Monty showing only once because Monty is working in Hyderabad as well as in Bangalore, which is not true. Okay, I just want to avoid all those blank duplicate rows. I want to clearly show what is the actual data. So this is how the union works. We already seen in the Excel, but this is a visual presentation, and this is actually this is how your data is going to be. All right. So for that, what I need to do is I'll just go to the view and object explorer. I'll go to the table A. I'll go to the edit of those 200 rows. In this Monty record, I'll make it as something like 30,000. I just closed it. That's it. It's saved. Now I want to run both the queries. Select from the table A, that is 30,000. Monty is with 30, and the second table with. Let me just remove this for time being. Yeah. When I'm running both, I can see 1001 Monty, 1001 Monty, and it has a different salary. Now, is this considered as a duplicate row or not? Let's try to understand this. Now, I'm removing union, and when I'm running this, will it show 6 rows or 7 rows? That's the question. Now you can see 7 rows because something is trying to make this entirely situation different. That is salary. So now we cannot consider this to be a duplicate row because of that salary variation, because the two rows are not equal to the second row is not equal to the first row because one condition has failed here. So resume here. So in this case, what we have seen is like it is remove duplicates because I want to demonstrate the fact that it removes the duplicates. And yes, it is really remove the duplicates. Even when I'm trying to work with a simple Excel file also, it was the same situation happened. 3 records plus 4 records should be 7 records, but I'm getting only 6 records because this is the nature of how the union works. It will simply removes duplicates. All right, so let's go back to the next one, that is union all. Where is union all here? So let me pick it up from here. Let's go for the union all here. So before going to the union all, so some more scenarios, let's try to see. This is a test one, let's say. Let's test two because I've given a lot of, there are 3 different conditions here, right? Number of columns should be same. So that is proved. Here the number of columns are same. That's why it's working, no doubt. Let me copy the same query instead of writing again. I'll go to the second example. In this example, let's try to see if I give something called EMP ID. Okay, that's my column name, comma, EMP name, E name. Then we have something called salary. Okay, these are the 3 columns what I have. And in the second model also, second table also have the same columns. So I'm trying to union them. Will it work? Because it has a 3 columns, it has a 3 columns. So when I'm running it, it has a no problem. And it is, again, because of the union nature, it is removing the duplicate row, which is fantastic. So this testing 2 was working perfectly, right? Testing 1 is also working fine because if you look at practically what I was trying to do is not different. Here I'm using a star. Here I'm trying to be more specific of the columns, right? So let me just take this testing 3 as a testing 3 now, 2 as testing 3. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to do little change. What I want to do is now I don't want to know the salary. Just let's remove it. Now I have a two columns, EMP ID, ename in the both the tables. Let's see if this really works. I'm just running this. So it is still working. The reason is probably it is having the same set of columns. Okay, as per my rule, number of columns should be same, both the tables. Yes, yes. So this testing 3 is also working. Let me go for a testing 4 now. I want to see as many as testings possible to see how exactly this union is really working on those rules which is set. Order of the column should be same. Okay, let me put this EMP ID to this here. All right. So in this ename, EMP ID, EMP ID. So what's the problem here? The order of the columns is interchanged, but it should work or it should not work. Let's see. If it is not working, that means it is following the strictly the second rule. The first rule already tested. Now let's see if it is working or not. Let me not give the working as a result. Now let's run it. Now when I run this, you are going to get an error, and the error will be clearly mentioned what is the problem with your order. It is trying to tell you the conversion order is failed because ename is a varchar, emp id is a integer. So when it is trying to merge, it is not able to merge between ename and emp id because both data type is different and the order of the columns also different, right? The order of the columns also it's completely different. So that means data type of the columns must be same. That is already proved, and order of the columns should be same. Here it is not same, so not working. It's not working. So whenever you're trying to union it, let me go for the next testing. This is testing 3, this is testing 4, this is testing 4, this is 1. Okay, in the last one, let's try to do things little different. I don't want to use the same table name, rather I want to use differently here. Instead of table A, I want to use table B. Okay, this time I want to use table A. So what does it mean actually? Why you are giving preference to table A always at the top? Why you are giving table B as a second preference? Always remember, whatever the query you write as a first table, always it becomes a left table. Okay, this will become your left table. Okay, we are still not at the joins. Once you go to the joins, you'll understand the real importance of what being in the left side, why you are being in the right side. What is the difference? You'll understand. So this is the right side, this is the left side. So when I'm trying to run this, is there any difference I'm going to find? Okay, again, the problem is the conversion. So let me not use this conversion anymore. Anyway, it will fail whether it's the table is at the left side or right side, doesn't matter. Let me use a simply star here because I'm just trying to test by using the tables differently now. That is, the order of the tables is changed now from A to B, B to A. Still it should work because it doesn't know what kind of table you are using. It knows only one thing: the column names are same, is the order is same, is the data type same or not. So it doesn't matter whether you're using one table or two table. Let me quickly create one more table here so that you will understand it only works for the three tables or two tables or three tables or multiple tables. If I show with the third table example, that means it should work for the 300 tables also, same procedure. But how to combine the third table, let's try to see. So here I want to again use what is that? EMP ID, ename, and salary. So let's go for EMP name. Okay, this time I'm giving different EMP ID or simply ID this time because I want to keep it different and see that question also what we have, like it should, the column name should be always same or not. EMP ID. So here I've taken ID. EMP name. So here I want to say employee name. Okay, let's take as a different name. Now this time it should be varchar. And here the column name is salary. I want to put it as simply salary. I want to say integer. Okay, let's close this now. If you look at the actual thing. Okay, if you look at these tables, here we have an EMP ID. Here I have only ID. Here we have e name. Here we have employee name. Here we have salary. Here we have sal. Now the question is, will it really works? Yeah. Will it really works if the column names are different? Because being a first example, I want to put it very clean column names and same column names so that you can easily understand. Now the situation comes where you want to make it a little complicated by understanding, does it really works if instead of employee id, if it is only id, because the column name is different, will it work or not? That's a question. So this is very important again segment when we are going for a joins, to understand the column names should be matched or not, that it's going to be understood with this example. Now, so if I go to my third example, third table, that is go to the tables, we have, what happened? Okay, I have not saved it. So let's save this table as table C. That's it. Now let's go for table C. Before that, always try to refresh and see if your table exists, then only start editing it. I'll go for design. I'll say something like, not design, sorry, go to top, edit top 200, where you can start editing. Now here I want to say 1008, maybe something different. 1008. Here I want to say Ronnie, and here the salary would be some 1 lakh. Okay. Now I'm trying to close this, a very simple table, because I want to see whether it still really works or not with the multiple tables. So let's try to execute this third table separately and see how it works. And this is my C table. When I run this, I'm getting absolutely this record. Let me run the A record. This is B, and the third data set, that is C. So when I'm running all these three, let's see how the tables looks like. Okay, now the tables are looks like tens if you look at the first and second table, but the third table is little different. Different in terms of the column names. If you look at the column name is different, column name is different, column name is different. Now, the challenge what we are trying to see, it must be an interview question, like if this kind of situation, whether the union really works or not. Okay, now let's put the heading so that you can use for your reference, combining three tables with different column name in table C. That's it. So that's the testing what we are trying to do. Let me close this, which will create a lot of room for us. Now, what is a union a keyword does? It will simply union two tables into a single result. So A and B, I want to union. No doubt I want to make B and C also union. So let's try to use it here. So what's the different thing I've done here? Between A and B union, between B and C union. So let's try to see this. Now, how the record set is going to be look like. This is my third table. Let me put it here. And the column name is only simply ID. And here employee name. And here instead of salary, it is sal. Okay. Now here we have the record called 1008. We have Ronnie. We have 1 lakh rupees here. So when you look at the three tables are talking about the same factor, but if you look at the column names are different. Now my question is, will this 1000 will still be shown under this record? Now total records we have is 3 plus 4 plus 1, that is nothing but 8. But being union, I'm using, I should get only 7. But the extra line which is coming from the table, will it show in this scenario or not? Let's try to test it now. Why it is showing invalid table? Why invalid table? It's working, right? So let me run this. Yeah, it's working. So when I try to run this, the output, now the question, we are going to answer the biggest question here. When we are trying to combine three tables, will it give me the 8 records or not? Okay, one record anyway, we can need to forget about it because it's a duplicate row. So when I run this, the output is showing as 7 records. Okay, just look at this. 1001, Monty, 1002, Priyanka, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So till here we got, and the 8th record is showing as Ronnie. Actually, why it is showing? Because my column names also not matching, but the data type is matching and the column order is also matching. The order in the sense, employee ID, year ID, doesn't matter. The columns names may not match, doesn't matter. So you can also make a note here, that is, where is that? Yeah. All right, guys. So the column names can be different. It doesn't matter, but the column values should be the same data type. So that means if I have created a third table, even if the column names are same, let's assume, but here you are trying to specify something like, okay, finance as a department, which make no sense because your intention is when you are saying employee ID, you are expected to go only employee ID. Okay, the column name can be different, but ensure that the column values which are going to be integer data type, because that's what are the that's what I'm following from the first table. So the data type of this is integer, this is integer, and the third column should must and should. It's not like maybe it must and should have integer only, but doesn't matter which is proved now. It's an employee. Okay, and this we have something called id, and here we have simply sal, doesn't matter. Okay, so now it is understood that like even if the column names are different, because different developers create a different tables based on their requirements, so it doesn't matter, but we need to ensure that the column size, the column data type, and the number of columns should be always same. Even if the column one column extra, this union will not at all work. So that's end of the story of this union, and we have seen different testings here. The first testing is you're using star, that is all. The second testing we have seen by using a directly column name itself, which is working fine. And the third testing we have seen, what if out of 50 columns, I just want to union only 2 columns, still you can go ahead, no issue at all. But it will fail in one scenario where if you're not following the order of the columns and the data type is different. When you're not following the order of columns, that itself means it is a you failed at the data type also, because the first column is e name. Here it is talking about employee. So obviously the data type has been different, and we are getting an error called conversion data type. So if you look at this error, it's very clean error, which is trying to tell you the conversion failed when converting the varchar value Monty. So that's the first name which we have there in the list. Let me go back to the list. If you look at the in the first table, the first name what we have in the table is Monty. So it is trying to pick up that first value and trying to explain you the reason why I'm not able to give the result to the data type int. So here EMP name is Monty, EMP ID is something 1000, 1002 or whatever. So E name, which is a Monty, is not able to convert to ENT, and it should not convert. Actually, why it should convert? Because we are not following the proper order here. The fourth set, again we failed. The reason being, okay, so it's sorry, this is working, right? This is working one. So what we have done is just we reversed A to B, B to A. That's it. But still, it should work because we are still not crossing our rules here. We are following the same rules here. And the fourth one, we have seen what if the column names are different? Can I combine multiple? Yes, we can go as many as unions as possible. There is no problem. And here I'm not going with those example. What if you have some where conditions? Use almost all those conditions what you know, that is using a where clause, using a order by clause, what all classes you know. So that's why these are something called a advanced topics where we need to have a very clear understanding about the select query and order clause and the different orders which we use. Okay, that is a top or distinct keywords. Maybe you're using the order of the where condition, then having, then group by, then order. Okay, so that's how it works. So we have seen 3 different tables combining also. Tomorrow, if you have 5 tables, don't hesitate, just use a simple keyword, or else you can just put this also, doesn't matter. Now this will give you a clear picture which is a left table and which is a right table. But even if the query tomorrow, if you'll find in somebody's system like it like this, still it is a left table. Okay, the first one which is showing as a left table, second one which is showing as a right table. So that's how it works. This is using multiple tables. Recording. Okay. All right, let's see the next one, that is union all. If I want to understand very closely how the union all works, the simpler thing is, let me read out the first line. It combines the results of 2 or more tables. Okay, same, there is no change. Select tables or select the statements, and it removes duplicate rows in the union. only one clause which is making this entire show differently, that is does not remove duplicates. What does it mean here? So that means I have one line as Monty in the example what you have seen. I wanted taken one duplicate row. Here also we have a duplicate row, because why I'm calling it as a duplicate row, as example I showed you, everything is matching. Even one condition fails, it can't be a duplicate row any duplicate row anymore. Even if you're working in Excel, if you're trying to put any conditional formatting, if one row is matching with another, put in a red color. So it will not put these two lines into a red color because the salary is different. But these lines will be put in a red color because both the lines with the values are matching, then it will be put in a red color. But even if it is says like 200 or something, and this is to now, if I compare these two lines, cannot be called as a duplicates. But now it is called as a duplicate because every value in the row in the column is matching. All right. So what is union and what is union all? Let's try to see union all now. What is the condition about, or what condition it is talking about, that it is telling that it does not remove the duplicate rows. Now let me see how the output is going to be. I remove this. First, it is coming from the left table and it is looking at the second table and pasting blindly underneath. So what does it mean? There's no change actually. I'm just trying to combine two tables into one single result data set called as union all. So by using union all, what you mean is you'll get the data as is, as a pure form of raw data data set from the data set. Whatever the rows we have, it will just combine and put it as a single data set. So how many rows we have in the first table? We have 3 rows, and the second table I have 4 rows. So combinedly, I'm supposed to see 4 rows here, 7 rows here. Okay, the order will be different. It will not be same because 1000 should be under 1000. That's by default ascending order, as you know. It will follow ascending order, not descending order. This is something I just copied and pasted, but you'll see. Let me show you this. But otherwise, you'll see this line not here, not here, but you'll be finding here, right? Because it will follow typically that's ascending, that is ascending A to Z, that is 1 to 10, 10 to 9, 1, that is a descending order. So this is how your output is going to be see. So that means when I'm running this, let me copy the same rows here, select A table and B here. Okay, here instead of union, now let me use union all. Okay, this is not correct because it's not taking up, right? So union all is a space between union and all. Okay, this is how it is going to be taken. All it's still considering as a function, right? Like we have a top keyword and uh, top keyword. Okay, we have a distant. It's considering as all as a different keyword here. But let's see how the when it comes to a running of this query, how it is going to show the result. Now again, I've taken the A and B example because it has a multiple rows. So totally, I should be seeing 7 rows this time because 3 plus 4. And Monty is coming in the Monty. Okay, the order is changed because the way we have given the data is trying to show up. Actually, it should follow that order, that is by ascending. Being we are clubbing the data, it's not showing up probably, but otherwise we can start using all those clauses what we know. Okay, simply what I'm trying to say here, it extracts even the duplicate rows. Now the question is in the real time, why I try to extract the duplicate rows? It maybe depends, right? So you want to extract all those information from branch 1 to branch 2, branch 3 to branch 4, all records you want to extract and want to see in a single view. And there would be a second scenario where you want to combine all the data sets, but you want to remove and see the distinct rows only from all the branches to get the right information. So scenario could be anything, right? It's not that you are going to use all the operators here. Depends upon the situation you are going to use. So basically, most of the time we use not union, but you'll use union all, because we always interested to do minus this duplicate rows, but never try to entertain these duplicate rows in our data sets, because that's not a good data set, right? It is maybe by mistake has entered, okay, or input error maybe. So we always want to avoid the duplicate rows. So this is how you can do that by using a union all. We frequently use in the real time union all, not the union. Maybe if situation comes, you can also use union. It's just to remove the all and it becomes a union. So this is the first testing what we have seen, that is using testing 1, that is. And again, so do I need to follow the same rules again? Let's see. This is testing 2. Do I need to follow the same rule? emp id we have, and we have e name, and we have salary. Let me combine this, and instead of star, let me put this. So what I'm doing, nothing different here, just trying to pick up only the columns names now. So I'm getting still the output. Very good. So let me go for the third testing. The way we have done with the union, let's try to clarify, is it going to be different? Not really different, but let's try to prove that point. Yes, it's not different. So this time I want to take uh, e name, then I want to put emp id here, which is again wrong, but I want to see what kind of error we are going to see. Okay, with even the union all also, the way we have seen with the union. So in this case, it should not be working because it's not following the golden rules, right? So when I run this, you'll be getting an error. Conversion failed when converting the varchar, that is nothing but text value, which is a Monty, to a data type called integer. This is completely failed, right? So guys, the conclusion of these two operators, which are most commonly used, the other two operators are never talked about in the real world, never talked, even you will not find anywhere talking about this intersect and expect as a one more keyword, which we'll see in shortly. But these are the two most common accepted by ANSI, that is ANSI, American National Institute of what standards. Okay, in this standard, they are specifically mentioned this union and union all as a set operators. But intersect and expect, in what situations we can use? Let's see, because I need these two tables again. I need one duplicate row again, so that we can really test it. So before that, yeah. So the next topic is how to use this intersect option. Okay, honestly, I'm not used in the real time, but it has its own importance. When you use intersect, how the result is going to be, let's see. Before that, let me put some notes here and some guidelines so that we can quickly follow and use them. So what is exactly the intersect is going to do? As you have seen, like by using this union and union all, it's just a difference of having duplicates and not having a duplicates. But what is the use of this intersect and how it is going to help you? It returns, basically how it works is, it returns common value from both the tables. Okay, I'm trying to understand. It returns a common value from the both the tables. So what I mean by common value, when I use except, so let me intersect. Let me say intersect. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, and let me put this as intersect. Let me use this as a union all. This is union. Okay, this is removes duplicates. This is this doesn't remove duplicates. Intersect. Okay, intersect will bring common values from multiple tables. Let's say not two tables or three tables. Oh yeah. Okay. This is about the intersect. Now, not really going to the SQL Server, but if you look at this intersect word, okay, the word itself is in the intersecting. For example, if you have two tables, the way you are seeing on the screen, what is intersecting in these two tables? Let me check. I have Nilima here. I have Nilima here. No, it is not intersecting anywhere if I look at this data visually. That's why we're taking a small tables, guys, here. Priyanka somewhere is meeting. Srinivas, Deepthi, Seema. There's no Priyanka there. So let me look at the Monty. Monty 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, Monty is existing. This is what is you call as intersect. So that means this line is talking to this line. That is the fourth line. The first line is talking to the fourth line. That is what your intersect mean. So is it going to intersect the rows and get this two data, or only a single line? Now, being both the lines are same, let's see how this intersect really works. Okay, that is what the concept here. I intentionally taken the duplicate value here. Now, I need to copy the same tables again. No change. Instead of this concept, let's try to use a specific star, and start using intersect. So instead of union, I need to use intersect now. Intersect. Okay. So when I use intersect from the table A, from the table B, Okay, let me run individually both the tables and see what happens, how the data is looking, the way you're looking at the Excel sheet. Now we have 3 rows at the top and we have 4 rows at the bottom. And what is intersecting, we know, as we have seen visual presentation. Now let's see practically. I'm curious to see whether it will retrieve only first line from the left table or also it will get the line from the second table. Okay, it should must and should get the only intersect value, not the two lines. Okay, though they are talking to each other, it should not be getting two lines, but will it get two lines or one line? That's the question. So when you're trying to use this intersect, and when I run, sorry, when I try to use the intersect there and select with those two queries and just run it, I'm getting only one row. So these two lines are talking to each other. It doesn't make any sense getting two lines as a output. It will get only one row here, not the two lines. That is what the intersect does. It just returns the common value from the both the tables. Okay, if you have 1 million rows in the first table and you have the 2 million rows in the second table, it will talk to each line will talk to that table and to see, are we talking to each other, are we same, our values are same, if the name is also same. That's how the behind the scenes each row will talk to, that is the first line will go and check, is it matching with this? No. Again, this first line will be in the memory and we'll check this. Is it matching with this name? No. Is it matching with this one? No. Is it mismatching? Yes, it is matching. It will extract, it will keep it as an output. It doesn't mean the job is over. It will go for the second one, Priyanka. Priyanka matching here? No, it's not matching, not matching, not matching, not matching. Then it will go for the third one. Checking, 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 nothing works. So it will finalize, boss, this is your final result. That's how the intersect is going to work. And it's a beautiful feature. I can say intersect whenever you want to find only intersecting values or simply the values which are matching together. So that is what about the intersects. Let's go for the except. Okay, if you want to see again the same examples, whether it will follow the same kind of rules or not, we can test it again. Just copy it and go for the second one. So this is a testing one. Let's see, because we have to prove this point as we have a guidelines here. Whenever you find guidelines, there should be a curiosity from you. There are so many rules. Is it really following or not? And what if I can prove that this is not really followed? That's how your mindset should be whenever you talk about any rules, because the next advanced topics all depends upon not any mental ability here. It's all depends upon your rules. If you remember the rules, you're good as a SQL developer. That's it. That is the only rules to be followed here. Even if you look at union or union one, I'm not doing anything on own. I'm just following blindly the rules and I'm trying to execute the query as per my requirement. So here, instead of this, I want to say emp id, then I want to use ename. Okay, just copy and paste again here, just to save the time. So when I run this, intersecting again, but this time I'm getting only special columns because I'm not interested in all those 50 columns to be displayed on my screen. That's it, as simple as that. So this is a test 3, test 2, and let's go for a test 3. Again, you are going to find the same issue here as well, because even intersect is also following the same kind of rules. That means emp id is wrong because ename cannot talk to emp id. emp id cannot talk to ename. The order is completely wrong. So when I'm trying to run this, you'll see, sorry, there is comma operator here. Okay, when you try to run this, you will see there is an error of data type conversion. So never try to entertain whenever you're trying to write a query. If the lines are proper order, this is what you're going to check. Always the order should be same. It should not be different. All right. And the good part of these operators, not only intersect actually, it can allow you to select the few columns, not all the time, right? If you use star means all 50 columns or 60 columns, but it has the ability because you are using the select operator. Select always says go for all or go for only few. So that's an advantage. So whenever you're combining, you can combine multiple tables, only the required columns only, not with all the columns. That's how it works. So that's about the intersect. Now, without me telling what is except, okay, without telling what is except mean, okay, this is a last operator in the set operator list, that is union all, and intersect, and the last one is except. Okay, And this basically operator, without me explaining anything, it's already giving you a clue here. Accept that records, I'll get you everything, right? That is what it was trying to tell you. So let me see visually first to understand what it is. Accept. Okay, now let me remove the output. Now I'm thinking that I'm already on the SQL Server having these two tables, and I want to see how it works. Now, if I run this, the first table is going to come and sit here, and second table is going to come and sit here. So here I'm talking about this operator, okay, which will retain left-handed table which are not found in the right-handed table. Okay, let me write here so that you can remember this. What it does is it returns all values in nothing but the rows from your left hand table or left table, which are not found